of this without having wasted too much time, and we'll just
Okay. So guys, some of you, most of you actually have probably spent this week interacting with the kids. So we would love to know how that experience was. What went well, what were some of the challenges you faced, because even we learn with your experiences. It's not that because like we've spent so much of time, every new interaction is like a new insight. So we would love to know some of the some of the good things, some of the challenges that you shared. So you can either come off mute, or you can like share it on the chat, whatever you are more comfortable with. We would love to hear somebody else's voice apart from our own, by the way. So Nishant has already started us off really well.
Can I go? Yeah.
Please, by
For
all means.
me, it was surprised that all my 6 kids picked my call, but I still didn't get to talk to my mentor. We only been texting each other. My co-mentor.
Who is that? Who is your co-mentor?
Ananya?
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. And all the 6 kids picked my call at the first ring. Unlike the last time where I had to call them over and over again.
Okay, that's awesome. Anything else? Like, were there any challenges you faced? So that even the others can probably like.
Yeah, so maybe I can share a little bit, Dipali this side. So honestly, when I started giving ring to my kids, uh, it was a bit nervous for me because I was actually talking in the jargon of all corporate jargons. so, so when I even made a WhatsApp group, I was like, "Hey guys, let's catch up on call." And then I just realized that, oh God, it's not a come on, not an office job or not an office call. And I think over the period of like maybe 2 or 3 days, I've just realized that I'm just trying to tone down my way of speaking with kids. And honestly, when today Anushka, I just peeped into your class, and I really felt that's the way in which I also need to like tone down when I'm talking to the kids, so that I'm more interactive rather than being now like when you talk in the terms of corporate jargons. So yeah, I just thought of sharing it with you all.
Thank you so much, Dipali. That was like very frank, and I'm sure the others will also like it'll help them
Hello?
when they do it. Yeah, go for it, Nishant.
Yes. So last week when Anushka got in touch with me, I was quite busy, and she texted me repeatedly, "Are you in for this? Are you in for this? Are you sure you want to do this?" So maybe at that point of time, I was in two minds, to be very honest. But I actually signed up for this thinking it'll be a nice experience interacting with the kids. Let's see how it goes, because I already have a couple of friends who are TFI mentors, so they're fellows. So I used to see them work, how they used to, even when we used to have parties or anything, they used to go to the corner and send voice notes. I used to feel like maybe when I should do this someday. Like these kids are totally relying on us. It's so nice to support them, teach them, and all that. So that's the primary reason why I signed up for this. And when I actually signed up for this, I was quite free, didn't have a lot of work. But then, yes, this past week has been also for me. But then, yeah, yesterday finally I managed to call up my kids, and when I spoke to them, I really felt that yes, whatever it takes from me, how much ever busy I am, I have to do this. I have to do this, because talking to those kids itself made me fall into what you guys are doing, fall in love with what you guys are doing. So that's why I'm here today. I just got back from work, and I've still not reached my room yet. I'm at my friend's place because that's closest to me, so that I can sit and attend this meeting.
Thank you so
So
much,
yeah.
Nishant. Thank you so much. Please go ahead. Like, were there any specific things that you learned about your children?
So I'll
They're all
go.
energetic, and they're
Oh,
all
I'm
very
sorry,
eager
Nishant.
to. Oh, I'm very sorry. Was I interrupting someone?
No, no, Nishant, go ahead. I thought you finished, but yeah, complete. Please, I am sorry.
Yes, I thought Rohit was asking me actually. I'm very sorry. So
No,
yeah,
please go ahead.
I found the kids very energetic, and uh, even though a lot of them don't have their phones throughout the day, they are still they were still telling me that we'll find a way out somehow. Like, tell us whenever you're free. One of my kids' parents, fathers, is an auto rickshaw driver. So what he told me was that आप जब सिखाने के लिए तैयार हैं मैं तब मैं घर घर जाके बच्चे के हाथ में फोन देता हूँ आप ऐसे बोलो. So listening to all of this, I really felt that yes, we have to make some change. So
Well done, Ishant. Well done. Go for it, Debagya.
Yeah, so talking to the kids, that was a good experience. But I faced a challenge. I think that the kids are not very fluent in English, and neither are their, family members. Because a lot of times, like for a couple of kids, I reached out, the call was answered by someone else, right? Either their brother or father, and they had no idea what I was talking about, right? And I tried to talk in Hindi, and I think they got fragments of it, and then they say, "Oh, sir, ठीक है, मैं घर जाके call करती," like something like that. But I think they are much more fluent in Kannada, and which I'm not at all aware about. So I think language is a barrier, but I'll try to use as simple words as I can to ensure that the message reaches out to the kids, right? And they understand, and then we can help them. I don't think Hindi will be a much feasible option, but we'll try to uh, communicate as much as I can in English only, but in a simpler, words and sentences without much complexities, and not being just very fluent, and like not being the corporate, slave that we all are, or maybe some of our are. So it was nice really talking to the kids. I really enjoyed it. Some of them are really great and enthusiastic. And like the first time I called, I was like, "Hey, I'm Devargia from TFI." And like, "Hey, sir, we know that we were expecting your call." And then that was really good to hear. So I love that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dibagra. I actually want to just address what you brought up, right? So, just for your knowledge, Grishma and I also do not speak a word of Kannada. I mean, I can understand bits and pieces. Sometimes I think I'm a disgrace to Bangalore, having lived here for over like 12 years of my life. But we also don't know Kannada, and we have managed, all right? And can you just name like a few kids who are in your cohort? Sorry, I don't know like all the groups yet, but by the end of the month, we'll know who
I
each of
think
you.
it's the 8th standard kids, Ajit,
I
Likit,
like
Likit.
it. Okay, so typically these kids are okay with English, right? I think they're like the middle rigor children. They would be okay with English. Perhaps the number that you have is the parent number. So what we will do from our side is share all the numbers that we have for the child, and we'll even tell you, okay, this is the number that the kid uses. So you can actually directly reach out to the kid. That should be done in the next day, like by tomorrow, you can expect that. The second thing you can do is if you are facing a language barrier with maybe an Ajit, although Ajit is fine, I'm just giving an example, you can ask someone from your group itself to help you translate, right? But I think, like we shared in the orientation too, sincerely advise you to speak only in English, even if you know Kannada or the kids know Hindi, because that will help them pick up the language better. But super, super relevant point brought up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Another thing that I've noticed when I talk to kids was the words that we think are very generic won't be the words that they know. For example, I was talking to kids about fixing their phone, and they got stuck on the word fix. They know the word repair. So it's also about getting to know them and the kind of words that they are used to, and the language that they are aware of. So it's a bit knowing them.
So if there are Does anybody else want to share anything? Anything?
Is it okay if I go next? It's a very super short one, and it's also appreciation for my co-mentor because so I started calling up the kids pretty late because I had some like my college semester was about to get over. So after I got done with it, I started contacting them, and my co-mentor Ashwini, she made like 90% of the job easier. The kids already knew who I was. They already were expecting a call from me, and they all were familiar. They said, "Yes, we know you, Ashwini ma'am already has told us," and I felt so good. So thanks, like a shout out to Ashwini, and thank you so much for making my job so easy.
Hmm.
Everyone, please celebrate Ashwini.
Yeah,
You, when we
everybody,
have a
please.
shout out, please celebrate it.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody share one celebration reaction. Because you're going to have to do this with your kids, huh? To get them to actually like um, you wake up in your class. So that's great. Ashwini, amazing job. Thank you for doing what you're doing, and please continue to do
My
that.
job, thank you.
All right. So shall we move on, Anushka? Over to you, Grishma.
Yeah, so next is our vision and our goal. So basically, TFI goal is one day all children will receive excellent education, and we all are part of that. And it's a lot more challenging than the idea itself. Once you get to know your kids, once you know how they are, you will understand. At the same time, I want to give you this information that they are very, very active kids. They all want to learn. They all want to, improve themselves. So with their energy, I think you can do that. Okay. And then, yeah. So So our first goal is 90% of students attend classes regularly, and 75% of this 90% submit homework regularly. It seems like a simple thing, but it's a lot of work. Just like right now, we were calling each of these volunteers up. Sometimes some days are like that. You need to call your kids, call them up and say, "Where are you? Why are you not attending?" You need to keep a check of your regular kids, call up your irregular kids, and then find out where your kids who are not at all coming to classes. So that's where our 90% lie. So yeah, that's the first goal. And average RC level of class becomes a 3. And again, once you get to know, you will understand. So these are all our goals that we have to set for ourselves. Like my kids, I want them to reach there. I want them to reach this goal. This for each and every one of you, I would suggest keep this in your heart and think this way. I want my kids to reach this level. As a group, when we try it, I guess all of us can, push our kids to that level. And next goal is mastery in math, science, and SST is above 70%. 100% of students are healthy physically and mentally. Yeah, so where we need to stress on the physically and mentally part, because we all know during COVID how as adults we struggled, and we know about mental health issues and all other things, and our kids come from very different backgrounds. They may not even be aware of what is going on with them. So if we can keep on check of them and let know the nuances which they are going on, we are also doing that. So we want all our kids to be healthy physically and mentally, but it's again an uphill battle. Then we organize at least 6 knowledge skill session for the students. So this is for you, at least 6 knowledge skills session. Whatever you like, whatever you want to share with your kids, please do that. Then students are at a 2.5 on TFI student vision scale. I think we will share the scale. So you will, these all things, I think student vision scale and RC level, these all things we will be explaining. So you will get a better idea of what it means. Then the last one is we are able to identify 20 students with leadership qualities. I think this is the most easiest goal, because I myself could identify at least 15 students, and I have not been teaching them for like more than, I have only been teaching them for like a month, and I can identify 15 students. So if you try, we can make all of this 15, add 5 and make them all student leaders. Okay, so maybe we should increase our numbers. Yeah. So this is our starting number. Let's see. All our students, like all of you shared, they are all interested. They are very energetic. So they can all become student leaders. So hope we get to our goals. And next, I'll hand it over to Anushka.
Thank you so much, Grishma. So, like we said last time, guys, internalize this. This is going to be our North Star. And I think Grishma brought up a really important point, right? Like, just figure out for your kids, can you at least meet these numbers? And then as a group, we'll see the magic together. And week on week, so this week we didn't show you much data because there wasn't much to show. But next week onwards, we will be looking at attendance, engagement, mastery data very closely and aligned to these goals. So we'll kind of see how far away we are from these goals. Awesome. So these are just the commitments that we had discussed. I think we're all super clear on this 1 hour, right? The huddle. So we're here, and that's great. This is the piece I really want to focus on in today's meeting, which is how do you really start teaching? When do you do it? What is the tracker you have to fill? There were so many questions around that. Our old volunteers, Ashwini, Shreya, Rahi, Veda already know it. Guys, it's a little different from the last time around. But I think you guys have a fairly good idea as to what our tracker is. Right, so you will begin teaching this week. Our week is like slightly weird because we have huddles on Thursday. So our cycle is basically Thursday to Wednesday. That's going to be the cycle we follow as a group. But yeah, I heard so much about how excited you were to speak to the children. You were so excited to see their enthusiasm, their willingness to learn. So now you are pushing you into the deep end where you can just kind of help them float, and you can float with them as well. Right. So these are the platforms we spoke about that we're going to use, bringing back slides from the orientation. So, where they're super innate. Today, I'm going to be focusing a lot on the tracker. Guys, again, I'm going to be talking a lot for the next 15 minutes. So please bear with me. If at any point you're getting confused, just stop me. Like, come off mute and stop me, because this is super crucial. Our volunteers in the previous round know we sweetly and fondly call our tracker our Bible, because it's what we refer to every single day and hold like super, super sacred. WhatsApp, you guys are already on. I hope you all have pinned the group because I understand that, that you might have a lot of messages. So please pin our group so you are not in the dark when it comes to important updates. Coming to Google Classroom, we didn't want to cover it in today's meeting because it would be a lot and you'll perhaps strangle us and perhaps leave. So we want to like pace it out for you guys. So maybe next week or the week after that, we'll talk to you about Google Classroom, how we're using it, how can we get the kids to use it, etc. But first, we just want to start simple, where we're saying literacy teachers will only teach literacy for the next 2 weeks. Let's forget about SST for a bit. Let's keep it simple. Similarly, math teachers will only teach math for the next few weeks. They're not going to teach science or, do the extra stuff. Let's just get our rhythm in place, and then we can think about how to take it above and beyond. Yeah. Can I get a thumbs up if you guys are with me? Thank you, Ananya. Thank you, Rohit. Thank you, Yuvraj. Thank you, Debagra. Okay, others. I hope we're not boring you, but this is like super crucial. And something that really excites me, very honestly. Like, I love trackers, like Rohit mentioned. I think it just like helps put in perspective the impact that we're having. Like, without the tracker, we won't know, we won't be able to quantify what impact we're having. Awesome. So in the next, I say 10 to 13 minutes, I'm just going to take you over the tracker, and then we'll have about 15 to 20 minutes for questions. Okay, but feel free to stop me in between if you have burning questions, because this is a little complicated. It may take you some time to get used to it. We've tried to keep it as simple as possible, but let us know if we've overcomplicated it, right? Like, totally fine to change things around and like remove things, add things based on your comfort. All right, so I'm going to start like right from the first sheet, so we're all on the same page. This is your sheet of important links. You can see the textbook links here. All right, if you want to find the textbook, this is how you do it. I've taken you over this last time, but I'm just going to repeat. This is the bridge course. Like we said last time, the government is just saying, can we just focus on the basics? And we're trying to inculcate that in our curriculum or in our lesson plans as well, where we do little bit bridge and little bit like syllabus, because we need to keep our kids happy, the government happy, our school happy, ourselves happy. So it's like too many stakeholders to manage. So we're trying to like strike a balance between bridge and curriculum. You can find it here. This is our link to the YouTube channel, where you will find all class videos and all Huddle videos. Okay, so you can have a look at it. Some of you said, I think Nishant said, you couldn't attend our classes, you couldn't shadow our classes because you're unavailable in the morning. Feel free to watch, pick up any video and feel free to watch it. And please give us feedback as well. Would love that. Huddle presentations are here. So you can just have a look at all presentations here. What we do is our WhatsApp DP, so our group WhatsApp DP, will have the next steps for the following week, just so that it's easily accessible to people. A link to this sheet is in your group description. So if at any point you want to access this sheet, just go to your group description. It's shared with all of you. You'll be able to access this sheet easily. All right. All of you have seen the sheet. I'm afraid not everyone has filled it. Guys, please, like if you've done the policy adherence, training, just put a 111 if you've done it. It'll really, really help us. Just get a sense of, who needs help where. And we also need to kind of report this to the national team. So it becomes super critical from that standpoint as well. And also, I'm only seeing Ashwini's day and time. Guys, please put in when you're having classes with your students. Most of you have had a chat with your students, but just so that Rohit, Grishma, and I just have visibility on when it's happening, please just share, with us, and also to make sure it doesn't clash with our student timetable itself. We'll share the timetable with you on the group again. Rohit, if you can do that right now so that, we don't forget, just share the timetable for grade 8 and 9 on the group. Yeah. So based on your availability, based on the children's availability, just put in a time there. My suggestion would be meet them for like 1.5 hours twice a week per subject. So yeah, you're basically spending like 3 hours, which is what we said the commitment that was required is. These are priorities. I will come back to that when we do next steps, but just know that priorities are in the mentor details and goals sheet. Okay. This is the time log again. We don't have too many people who filled it. Guys, please fill this honestly. And honestly, it's not for us to be like, oh, Shreya has put in 136 hours, Rahi has only put in 38 hours, Shreya is better than Rahi. That's really not the point. It's just to get a sense of how many hours you're putting in. Because I'm not sure if you guys know this, but the national team requires 60 volunteering hours to be able to give you a certificate. Right? So if we're not at the 60 mark, they'll kind of question us as to how we're giving a volunteer certificate. So for the sake of the certificate, I know most of you are not motivated by the certificate, but you've had like other external motivations. But please, for the sake of the certificate, please just fill this time log daily. This sheet you guys have kind of seen. We're seeing 2 groups. I'm not going to name the groups, but 2 groups have not filled these pieces in. Guys, please fill this in. It just gives us a sense of, okay, you have spoken to your kids. You kind of do have an idea of what they're like. Are they healthy? Who are the kids you can reach out to, etc. From Rohit, Grishma, and my end, we're going to update these numbers. We realize it's really frustrating, when one number doesn't go through. somehow the kids just have like multiple numbers that they randomly call us up with. So we just save it, but don't update our records because it's really cumbersome. But we will do that for you guys. So just give us by the end of this week, we'll just, have the numbers updated. If you have additional numbers and you want to update them, feel free to do that as well. This is again just bringing up for your knowledge their RC and math mastery and just a sense of, do they attend regularly? Do they submit homeworks regularly, etc. Any questions up until here? These are things that we've all seen before. But any burning questions on the first 4 pages, which are the simplest pages? We're going to complicate it slightly. Yes.
Anushka?
Yes, Yuvraj.
I haven't spoke with 2 or 3 students because of some reasons, like they are not picking up or their phone is coming switched off.
Okay.
So I don't think it will be right to like decide a time with the students to whom I have spoke of. So for what?
That's super valid, Yuvraj. So my suggestion would be, okay, so the 2 kids that you I think haven't reached out to
3 kids.
3
Sudarshan also.
Okay, they are actually available. So my suggestion would be just try again. Like Esther, I'd actually confiscated her phone for reasons I don't want to disclose, but I had confiscated her phone. She has it back. So you can kind of reach out to her. Afnan, I think he was traveling. He's back now. I spoke to him today, so you can have a chat with him. So Darshan showed up to my class today. I'll share alternative numbers. So you can kind of reach out to these 3. But that's a super valid point, guys. If you have not been able to set up a time, just get in touch with the kids again, the ones you couldn't reach out to in the next day or 2, and just fix up that time. So, you have a schedule, the kids have a schedule, and it's great. Yeah, Nishant.
Yes. So the number of hours that you wanted us to put in the table.
Yeah.
So it's a number of hours. I mean, every time we take a class, we have to fill that form, is it?
Or any TFI work, even if you're planning for a class, okay, you spend a solid hour planning for a class, just put in 1 there. It's how many hours are you giving to TFI that day?
Okay.
So we don't want people to be overworked. So, if you put in like 6-7 hours, we'll perhaps call you up and be like, buddy, what's up? Do you need help? And if you're putting like 0 continuously, again, a phone call will go from your POC being like, is everything okay? Right? So that just gives us some visibility. But thank you guys for those great questions. Awesome. So this is a new sheet, okay, that you all have not seen before. This is the weekly schedule, okay, which will basically, and as I said, we're only covering 2 subjects, English, which is literacy, and math. All right. I just want to walk through the flow first. Okay. So for English, based on your groups are here, you have different lessons. Okay, we're suggesting do 2 lessons a week. So 1 hour, 1 hour, 1.5 hour, 1.5 hour. All right. And what we've tried to do is maybe have 1 RC and 1 either grammar or writing in a week. All right. And you can just click. So all of these are hyperlinked. You can just click on this and you'll be able to see the material. Okay. If for some reason you don't have access to the material, just reach out to us, just message on the group. Because that group is pinned on all our chats. So just message on the group because that is like crucial. So just message on the group and you'll be able to see it. Okay, guys, I promise this thing works. I tried it out this morning. I don't know why it's not working now. Okay, but let me know if it doesn't work for you guys as well. It takes time. All right, and this is like the reading and comprehension. The entire presentation has been made for you. All right, my suggestion is please use this in presentation mode. Okay, I'll add that comment as well. Please use it in presentation mode because there's a lot of like animation. So if you just like show it to the kids like this, you may miss out on an animation that kind of ruins the flow of your lesson. All right. Rohit, you want to add something? Okay, here guys, this works. All right, this works. Yeah.
So guys, just doing a check for understanding, does everybody know what RC and RF is? Can I get Yuvraj? Yuvraj, can you tell me what RC and RF is?
Like they are, like they are. How can I tell? Like I'm not remembering the
No, you
name
just have
of
to say
that, but
what exactly it stands for. You know, like RC. What does
RC
RC
was like
stand for?
reading and comprehension, I think so, and RF was. I don't remember about the RF.
I don't know.
Does anybody else remember what
No.
RF is?
Okay.
Frequently, I think so. Reading frequently, maybe.
Reading fluency. Okay.
Fluency,
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
fluency.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to check
Yeah.
if you guys are on the same page as
Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah, guys, we use too many jargons, okay? So please, like, stop us. So one jargon. So, okay, so math, English is done, right? 2 lessons, do it at any point. They have been hyperlinked here. Click on it and you should be able to access it. A quick reminder, please access it using your laptops. It'll work a lot better. Okay, and you can schedule classes on Zoom, on Google Meet, whatever you want. Google Meet might be slightly better because Zoom has that 45-minute limit if you've not paid for it. So that's English, fairly simple. Just spend 10 minutes, post this call, perhaps just look at the lessons, see if you understand it. If you have any doubts, you can always reach out to us. Okay, coming to math. Math is slightly different. Okay, so the flow for math is basically we will be doing the teaching in class. Okay, so I'm the math teacher, so I will be doing the teaching in class. All right, I will share all my resources with you. I think what I realized from last year is my kids didn't practice enough. That's where I'm kind of banking on you to do a revision and just make them practice. The way we work is we do homeworks almost every class, like 5 to maybe sometimes 12 problems if like it's something easy. And then once a week we have a test, right? So the homework, I'm absolutely okay if they discuss in the homework, right? Because they're just learning. That's absolutely fine. It's not a test. But the test, we don't want anyone to help them. Not you, not me, not their friends. So what I'm suggesting is, can we just get them to do the basics? Can we just get them to complete all homeworks? So in your sessions, and it's okay if, I've given 5 homeworks and in your class, in your 2 hours, you've only been able to do 2. That's fine. As long as those 2 are done, right? So because I give homework almost every class, so I can't expect all 5 homeworks to be done or all 4 homeworks to be done. So try and do at least 2 to 3 with the kids. The way we give homework is either a Google form, right? So you will kind of see the link here. You can, and it's a self-graded form, so you can kind of answer it and you'll be able to see what answers are right and what answers are wrong. Or I'll give like a worksheet like this, and that's also hyperlinked. This is today's homework. And you'll kind of see the questions on top. So you can, share your screen and discuss this with the kids. And I've kind of given the answers for you as well, because I realized that, math may not be everyone's forte and you're having to teach math. So I've kind of given you the answers here, right? With math and English, my suggestion is avoid spoon feeding. Please avoid spoon feeding, which is why I really urge you all to come to our classes. You will see how we do it. Like, I remember when I was teaching, I would just get so frustrated or like nervous that, oh my God, like I don't have enough time. They won't like, they won't know the answer and stuff. It's okay. Do 2 problems in class. It's fine. Okay, don't do 2, do at least like 5 to 7, but do fewer problems in class, but get the kids to help each other out. Like today, my class extended by like 20 minutes because they just couldn't get one sum. And I'm like, it's okay. I'm not going to tell you. You figure. I think Yuvraj and Dipali were there in that class.
Yes.
Yeah. So just get them to, sorry guys, 1 second. So just get them to, figure it out for themselves. I think Yuvraj was there. He knew that there was the 3rd problem that was really tough. So I said, fine, there, we'll do it later. But something simple, if they're not getting, just avoid spoon feeding. Try and get, if maybe a Shabuddin doesn't know, be like, Fatima, why don't you help Shabuddin out? Right? Try and do that. It'll be a little frustrating, but you will see the magic after a couple of weeks where, they will want to give the answer. They will not really need you as much, right? So across the board, avoid spoon feeding as far as possible. Try and nudge them into the right. So for math, we're saying, can we just get them to do the homeworks and do them on their own under your supervision? Obviously, you will be there to clear doubts, repeat topics if they need it, if they need a refresher, etc. From my end, I'm going to give you the class video so you can see how I taught the subject or the topic. You'll have the class PPT. Again, please look at it in presentation mode. I use a lot of disappearing animations. So the slide, like if you're not presenting, will look completely blank, but there's like a lot of stuff under it. Okay, so please use presentation mode. And I will give you the homework with the answers. If it's a Google form, I will not give answers because it's kind of self-corrected. And I'll also give you practice problems. Okay, so if Ashwini's kids are like superb, they've finished all the homework, Ashwini wants to practice more with them, I've given you some resources where you can practice more. Questions with answers where you can practice more. So that's what I'm going to do every single day once my classes kind of end. And you can every day, just have a look at it. I can't. So Rohit, Grishma and I were just like, oh my God, our cycle starts Thursday, ends Wednesday. Somebody may take class on Tuesday. Somebody may take class on like Friday. So you will just have access to Thursday's resources. Then you do the previous week, right? So everyone will be on like really different platforms, but that's okay. I think we'll just be a week or something apart. Yeah. Guys, any questions on the weekly schedule for math or English? It's all hyperlinked. So all your resources are here. You don't have to look anywhere else.
Guys, also just letting y'all know, going through the tracker once or twice, just living with it for a day, it solves it. It answers a lot of questions or any any nervousness you might have. Take it from an absolute Excel sheet noob. Okay.
But yeah, and please give us feedback, guys. If the tracker is not working, if something is not working for you, where you're just like, listen, this is like too complicated. I signed up for something much simpler. Feel free to do that. We've tried to make your life as simple as possible by putting everything in one place. But yeah, feel free to do that. Awesome. I'm going to move forward. So these are Grishma, Rohit, and my trackers, right? We want to make it visible to you. Don't get scared by the formulae and the number of columns. It's our headache, but we just want to make this visible to you so that maybe, and grade 8 and grade 9 are different or like separate sheets, but it's basically the same thing, where we're looking at attendance, attendance across subjects. We're looking at homework submissions, and we're looking at the weekly test mastery. We want to make this visible to you so that you can kind of be like, okay, Manjula, all right, so if there's a 1 year meaning class was conducted that day, Manjula is AWOL. She's attended 0% of math classes this week. What's up with Manjula? Let me follow up with her, right? Or someone like an Abhishek. Okay, Abhishek attended all classes. Amazing. He should be in a position to answer questions. Priyan, oh my God, Priyan did not attend this 4th July class. The 4th July topic was so-and-so. So maybe I need to, follow up with Priyan and figure out what's up, right? So just look at these pieces to get a sense of where your kids are at. All right, similarly with homework submission, considering you are doing the homework with them, we didn't want you to kind of be like, okay, it's like self-report whether it's been done or not, because it also distances us from the process. We wanted to take the onus on ourselves to be like, okay, it's actually done, right? And you will have visibility to it here being like, okay, Harshita told me she finished 2nd August homework. Why the hell hasn't Rohit gotten it yet? So either Rohit has not entered it or Harshita has not done it, right? So just you can follow up with your kids here and obviously look at their mastery and obviously try and improve it, right? So week on week, this is what Rohit, Grishma, and I are going to fill. But please look at it. Like, don't think, oh, this is something the fellows are doing. It doesn't bother me. It's actually very, very relevant for you, right? And for someone who loves numbers, trust me, this will like put things in perspective. The greens and the reds will tell you exactly who to focus on. Yeah. This is your tracker, where we have nothing to do with other than just look at it like you will look at ours. Very simple. tried to align it with, what Shamali at the national kind of orientation had said. So, if for this kid, Suraj is taking math, just enter in numbers. I did 2 hours of math this week, right? It'll show up in green because minimum is like 2 hours. And literacy, how many literacy hours did you do? Okay, maybe Akshay did 3 literacy hours. So just enter, okay, just enter 3, right? What was the attendance like? It's a fairly self-explanatory legend. Did the kid attend at all? Did they attend less than 50% classes? I'm assuming you'll have 2 to maximum 3 classes a week. So just wanted to keep the scale minimal. Did they attend 50% or more than 50%? Right? So, okay, maybe this fellow attended nothing, right? But literacy, this fellow attended all right? Participation, just for us to get a sense of how are they in your class, so that we can kind of pick off, okay? So if you're like, okay, Ajit is like a full 0 in literacy and in math, Grishma, Rohit and I can look at it and be like, that's weird because Ajit talks a lot in our class. Let's have a chat with Ajit. We just want to make sure that we're on the same page, right? And this is your space to vent, celebrate, notify things. So, you can be like, Ajit has no recharge. Okay, like these are the various things, like anything that you want to tell us that Grishma, Rohit and I need to know at the end of the week, please let us know. Okay, so one is like, okay, maybe Ajit has no recharge. Maybe Chaitra really needs help with fractions. Okay, whatever. Like anything that you want to add, you can just add for us, right? For Gautam, you can be like, doesn't attend my class, didn't attend my class this week because he had a family function, right? Like whatever you want to like notify to us for the kid, it can be anything. This is our mode of just communicating for each kid. That's it. That's all you have to do week on week. My guess is this shouldn't take you more than 15 minutes for your 8 kids. Like this is like really quick. Ashwini is smiling, I think, because she knows how much simpler this tracker is from last time's tracker. So really incorporated our previous volunteers' feedback where they were actually doing all of this as well. Like we were just putting attendance and they were doing like everything else. But we realized there's merit in you not doing it and us doing it. So yeah. Okay, guys. And L here basically means late. Okay, so we don't give the kid attendance if they come after 10 minutes. Our logic is it's like a flight. The flight is taken off. You're on the ground waving to the flight. It's not going to come back for you. All right. So we'll enter a late just to know that, okay, the child at least tried to come to class today, but they're not getting attendance for that. It won't be added here. All right. So yeah, this is your tracker and that's the end of my 15-minute lecture. But any questions, any reservations, any comments, please do share. Yes, Nishant.
How long can we wait for them?
Sorry?
Showing up for a class.
Huh.
If one particular student is not showing up for a class, how long can we wait for them?
10 minutes.
How long should we be waiting for them?
10 minutes. So actually, 10 minutes is also a lot.
10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes is also a lot. But Rohit, Grishma and I have a flight takes off 10 minutes after start time. So you can kind of use the same thing.
Okay.
But do call them up, okay? Like, so okay, I'm glad you brought that up. So what really works, like if you see our attendance numbers are higher than the school attendance numbers, like when teachers take class, is because we call them up, right? We will pester them till they show up. We'll be like, Likit call Jeevan up, Manjula call Manu up, Navnita call Shilpa up. You call each other up. Just get them here. Right? Like the first 5 minutes of our class. So we typically start class, like we open our link 10 minutes before. So that 10 minutes plus the 5 minutes of class is like high pressure zone where people are just calling each other up. And post that is when we start. So you can kind of do the same thing as well. Yes, Yuvraj.
Like for the maths, my role will be like to give the solutions or clear the doubts of the homework only, or more than that?
Great question. Great question. So, Yuvraj, my suggestion is start with the homework. All right, that in itself is a lot and like good enough rigor for them to practice. If you think your kids are like acing it and like they're not finding it challenging enough, or they have more time, or you have more time to spend with them, you can move to the practice questions. But my suggestion is at least bare minimum start with homework and then move to over and above extra stuff.
And for the homework, like after the it is checked, then I would have to like give the like keep a doubt solving session, right? Or
So
should I
actually,
will be
okay,
checking it?
that's a very, very good question. My suggestion is, the homework, very honestly, Rohit, Grishma, and I were chatting about this yesterday as well. We don't have the bandwidth to check every single thing every single day, right? The test, we're spending a solid 2 hours correcting all papers per week, where we're getting kind of ideas of where exactly each child is going wrong and actually marking out all the correct answers. Homework, as of now, our approach towards homework is one, Google. Mostly we give Google Forms. Like if I give like 4 homeworks a week, one will be the test, two will be a Google form, which is self-corrected. All right. And one will be like a longer homework. What I do is I just glance through, what are the overarching trends that I'm seeing so I can remediate in the next session. So I'm not really correcting them and you are going back and clearing the doubts. What my suggestion is, today you saw, right, how we did the group work, where kids kind of corrected, like they did it on their own. So you give them about 15 minutes to do it on their own. And then you get kids to discuss. You refrain from like giving out the answers. First, get the kids to share. Okay, guys, what do you think? How will you solve this problem? And what I can do is maybe I can, show you a practice. Maybe in my next few classes, I can just record the practice piece that we do. You can do it like that, right? So kids basically will solve. Then you have kids themselves discuss. And then you figure out, okay, this kid thinks exponent means into 2. But that's a problem. It's actually to the power 2. Then you might have to reteach that exponent is or square is to the power 2. Right? Another suggestion, I have, and what I've even linked here, especially for grade 9, is try and use like fun ways of revising. I'm trying to do that. I'm also learning. I'm trying to do that in my classes. So every 2 weeks, we'll have like quizzes. So it's quizzes. All right. This is the website. The kids love it. Okay. They're used to it. They love it. You will see they'll all answer in like a jiffy. There are ready-made quizzes, or you can create your own. Like try and find like fun ways of revising or fun ways of doing the homework. Then they'll want to do it. So
Yeah.
Any other questions? Those were 2 like really amazing questions. Thank you. Anything else, guys? Is this like super clear? Like, so the 2 or, okay, so the sheets that really, really concern you and that you will be filling often is this piece, right? Please fill this out along with your day and class for timings. Please fill the time log out daily. Basic student details, once you filled, you don't technically have to look at it again. Other than if you want to look at the student numbers, which ideally you'll have saved. Weekly schedule is what you're looking at every single day, week on week, to figure out, okay, what is it that I need to do? And stuff is hyperlinked. This is, again, you have nothing to do with it, just viewing like good to know stuff. Okay, these kids are attending math regularly. What the hell is wrong with Gautam and Hemant? Why has Prajwal only attended 33% of the math classes this week? You'll get a sense of that, right? Similarly, and this is basically what you need to fill before 7 p.m. every Wednesday. It should not take you more than 15 minutes. Like, it's like as simple as we could make it. Simple, but also super effective for us to get visibility on how is it going with you guys and with each of your kids. Yeah. Awesome. Any questions before I move into the last slide? Ashwini, today we're ending before time. The end time was 8 p.m. We should end in the next 3 minutes if nobody has questions.
I wanted to add one thing.
Yes.
So if you are having any questions in the group, just tag us with it. We have multiple groups, so when you tag, we'll immediately get back to you. So any questions, any doubt in the group, tag us and ask that.
Thank you. Awesome. So I think our next steps for this week are basically an extension of last week. So if you're a super volunteer like Ashwini, who's done like 9 on 9, then some of these are already checked boxed for you. But if you haven't done it, that's absolutely fine. We completely understand that you have packed schedules and really, really appreciate you giving us your time. So yeah, just then there'll be like some carry for next week. So first piece is fill in your priorities. So let me just show you that once more. Try and do that as soon as possible. Like we'll probably check on you on maybe Saturday. Your POCs will check on you. Guys, this really helps. So I'll show you my little diary that I have, which I've recently started using. So it's like every week, what are my priorities, like goals, don't forget. And then every day I basically look at this and like I have stuff written down. It really helps. Like there's so much chaos usually, but when I have this, I'm like, okay, I know that it's okay. So I'm going to push you guys to do this nerdy thing that I do as well, which is just setting your priorities, right? So just for this week, what are your top 3 or 4 priorities? It could be anything. It could be setting a class timing with my students. It could be getting in touch with Afnan, Esther, and who is the other person? Sudarshan. Whatever are your priorities. Last time we, used to force our volunteers to set like smart goals and all, realize that's too extra and unnecessary. Just set simple priorities. So your POCs also have visibility on, okay, what is Suraj wanting to achieve this week? And we can push you to try and achieve that, right? Or if we think, oh, this is something that should be Suraj's priority, but is not, we'll reach out to you and be like, Suraj, how about you add this? Or why is it that you haven't added this? Yeah, so it just gives us visibility. What I think maybe we should do is even make Grishma, Rohit, and my priorities visible. So that it forces us to actually do it and practice what we preach. And also you'll have visibility on, what are our fellow priorities this week? So, where do you kind of align or stuff like that? Oh, maybe why are we not responding to you? Because maybe we are just going crazy distributing devices. Yeah. So just to give you visibility on our priorities as well. So I'll add that to this. Next is, I don't know how we reach the bottom of this. Okay. So please fill in your priorities. You will have your POCs reach out to you by Saturday if that's not done. Your priorities can be the same as your co-mentor, or you can have separate priorities. I mean, whatever works for you. Please complete all trainings and update the tracker. You know where to update it. Fill the time log sheet religiously and honestly. A very easy one to do. Confirm your schedule with your kids. Completely understand positions of volunteers like Yuvraj who are unable to reach out to their kids. My sincere request and suggestion is that you try and reach out to them again and just figure out. Guys, this is not like Gangona Hali. Our kids, I'm telling you, in 9th grade, out of our 43 children, only 4 children are unreachable. And I'm trying to track down, and out of which 1 kid today showed up to my class. So only 3 kids are unreachable. All right. So 40 out of 43 kids are reachable and are attending classes in grade 9. All right. Similarly, in grade 8, I think only 4 or 5 out of the 25 children are unreachable. The rest are all attending classes. Okay. So we're in a really good position than we were last year, Ashwini or Shreya. So we're much, much better. So now I think it's just to push them to practice and become the better versions of themselves. Yeah. So just confirm your schedule, update the tracker. This is like super, 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 super crucial. Try and do it as soon as possible so that you can actually teach this week, right? Or, I mean, this week means like from today to Wednesday. Do your 2 to 3 hours as per your schedule. My suggestion is don't have more than 2 classes a week. If you want to take a block period, you can do that. Or like split it into 2. Don't have more than 2. It gets really chaotic. Or just have like 2 sessions. Please fill column E to J, which is what I showed you, the math hours, the attendance, all of that. That's basically the mentor tracker. And update your POC on Monday. This we've just added, just send us an update, voice note or text. Hey, this is what's up. This is what's happening. Just so that we have visibility on what's, going on. You don't have to. So if Ashwini and Ananya are co-mentors, Ashwini doesn't have to send a separate one than Ananya. Okay. The POC will also go mad. So both of you together can send like one update. It doesn't have to be long or fancy. Just drop in a line of how is it going? Do you need any help? What has the progress been like? So we also have visibility. Yeah. Any questions on our next steps? Seems doable or not doable? Oh, yes. Rohit, that was such an important one. Thank you for bringing it up. Sorry, it didn't make its way into the deck. But we distributed like 20, we tried to distribute 27 devices. I think we distributed about 15 or 12 devices. So the kids are having like massive like troubleshooting. They'll constantly ask you to troubleshoot. I also don't know the answers to the questions they have, but I guess we need to figure it out together. One common problem, guys, that they're facing is, I'll share a screenshot, is when they go to Google Play Store and try to download like a Zoom or a WhatsApp, it basically says the admin is not allowing you to do this. A star 8th grade kid, Vedahi, today taught me how to, solve this issue. One is that the internet should be on, so the device should be connected to the internet. The second is they need to update Play Store. So please ask them to update Play Store. Once they update Play Store, 75% it should work. She literally problem solved with like 2-3 kids in my class while like we were doing math, and it seemed to work. So Rohit, Grishma, that's something I learned today.
Thank you. I will use it. I've been
Yes.
getting calls all day. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Thank
that's
you.
one common problem everyone is facing. But yeah. Awesome. Any other questions? Yes, Ashwini.
Anushka, for maths, I think I would require to do some prep work. So can we know in advance what is the next chapter that is going to be covered?
Yeah, so what I've done is I can't give you the PPT because I don't make it that much in advance.
So not
But the chapter is there. So let me
chapter
show you.
wise?
Yeah. The chapter is there. Let me just show you. Tell me if this is good enough or you want me to provide more details. So for the week, what I can also do is, guys, I can share my unit plan with you. They're ready. Up until 31st August, and I'll have to create it now for September and all also. My manager Tejas is on this call. He's anyway going to ask me for it in the next 2 weeks. So anyway, I have to create it. I can share my unit plan with you guys as well. Right? But this is the visibility that you'll have, Ashwini, for the week. Does this work? The chapter name?
Yeah. And also, Anushka, there are a couple of like this first chapter, there are a few doubts that I have.
Yeah.
So can I totally omit that chapter and leave it for you?
Which chapter is that?
The first one, the irrational numbers and stuff.
Yeah, let that be. Let's start afresh because then we'll be a cycle behind.
Okay.
So when we have extra time, maybe, if you have extra time, instead of doing the practice problems for this chapter, you can kind of address the doubts in the previous chapter. But my suggestion is let's not, because then we'll be like too many cycles behind and then the homework won't be completed and then, become a mess. So if you have extra time, then maybe you can look at irrational numbers. Anyway, irrational numbers is not a prerequisite for what we're doing now, which is lines and angles.
Okay.
So we're chilling. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, Ashwini, does this suffice where I'm going to give you the chapter name and the objective? Is this good enough?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but like for the next week, if I want, you said you'll share your unit plan.
Yeah. I'll share my unit plan.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. It may be subject to a few changes, right? Just kind of caveating it there because maybe if I don't complete this, then it spills over to the next session.
Fine.
Or maybe I realize, oh my God, we covered too much. They're so confused. We need to do a revision class. So I take those calls, but more or less the structure is there.
Okay.
I'll actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that here. All right. So everyone has visibility to it. Yeah. Any other questions while I sit and edit this?
Guys, just letting you know that I've shared the timetables. So if there's any class that you prefer to attend, you have the schedule with you. So if you want to like make your classes, plans, whatever around it, please feel free.
All right, Rohit, you can stop recording. Any more questions? We'll be here for another 5-7 minutes.